afternoon everybody, Calm Biker here. I'm heading up to a place called Danby to show you something that I found quite interesting. I was reading about the other day and I thought I'd come and have a look. So I'm out here, North Yorkshire Moors area, heading up to Danby to show you Danby Beacon. It's an interesting one. Danby Beacon, it's also known as RAF Danby Beacon, Royal Air Force, because of one of the uses it had. In the Second World War, it was part of an early warning system, so it's high up, it can see for miles, and they had a big radar station on top of it, lots of towers and whatnot, radar dishes and aerials and all that kind of thing, and it was a good place to put it because it's so high up. So it was used as an early warning system for World War II, and then it was maintained longer than that, so that after the war it became part of the early warning system for the Cold War. But it actually goes back a lot further than that, hundreds of years. I think it's 400 years old. And it used to be that over the moors, which is desolate, and when you look around me now, when you can see there's the odd building, and this is about as populated as a lot of it gets. Once we're up into the area where the beacon is, you'll see that there's just nothing there at all. If you've been on one of my ride-outs where we've gone through the North York Moors, you'll know it's just empty. But yeah, it's kind of 400 years ago-ish. It was part of a series of beacons. So every 20 miles or so, there'd be one of these beacons. And I think this is the only one that's left with anything there. I mean, it's not got the original beacon. And the beacons were... Now then, which way do I need to go? I have to think about this. I'm going to take a guess at left. I really should have plugged my GPS in, shouldn't I? Yeah, it was one of a series of beacons, and what would happen was, if the marauders were coming, the people that were up on the hills could see them from many, many miles away coming if there was an army on its way, and they could light one of the beacons. So it was a big, I guess like a big metal basket full of stuff that burns, wood and whatnot, and they would light it, and then the people at the next beacon 20 miles away would see the lit beacon and they would light theirs, and so it would continue until you had a line of beacons all lit, and the people at the end of the line knew that the bad guys were on the way, the enemy was approaching. Nowadays there's no basket for wood to go in, and there's no RAF Danby beacon anymore either. What there is a beacon. It's like a pole with a flamey shaped piece of metal at the top, but weirdly enough it does still light, so occasionally they do set fire to it. This is where it starts to look like moors. Got to be careful this time of year with these roads because they get a surface with a slick layer of mud. You get water running down the hills that brings the mud with it, and then occasionally you'll get tractors and things as well, like from that little lane, that'll drag mud out, and it then gets kind of squished down, wetted by the rain, squished down by the cars, and you end up with this horrible layer of mud. And looking at this bit, some ice as well. It's all frozen over. And here we are. It's not spectacular. It's now here, obviously not as a early warning system or a beacon system anymore. It's now more of a mark of what was here in the past, and also a memorial to the people who manned it during the war, and memorial to the people of the war, you know, died in the war, that kind of thing. Pull the bike around there. Definitely a tad icy. Quite like this. This is a viewfinder, as they call it, put up in the 90s by the parish council. So if I stand around this side, You can see north points to my gloves. But it also tells you all the kind of areas around here. So Fylingdale's over there. Probably won't be able to pick it out on this camera. Let's see if I can get anything on this one. No, too far away, but I can see a building just over there, just jutting up, which is Fylingdale's, which was part of an early warning system for the Cold War. And I can see over there the sea coming right round, and then all those wind turbines over there again, probably not visible, because they're not even visible on here. If I zoom in I can see them. And then we've got reservoir over there, Runswick Bay, the Scaling Dam over there at the reservoir area. But all these little lines here all pointing to the various places. I quite like that one. Great and Little Fry Up Dale. Yep, Fry Up. I wonder if you can actually get a fry up there. This is the beacon. As I say, this is, I think as I say, I can't remember if I said it or not. But although this isn't obviously an original beacon, it's now a kind of arty piece with the flames at the top there made of metal. They can actually put a fuel into that and light it as a beacon. And occasionally they do. Quite cool though. All metal. So the brown that you can see, if you can't pick it out on the camera, that's as it's rusted. Which no doubt is purposeful. Trying to get a photo without shivering. Now I've got off the bike and I've not got electricity to my vest anymore. You realise just how blooming cold it is up here. It really is very, very cold indeed. But there you go. There is Danby Beacon. Somewhere to come and have a look at. If for no other reason than the roads around here are brilliant. Well worth a visit. And as you can see, middle of nowhere. Anyway, thank you for watching everyone. Ride safe, and I shall talk to you all again soon.